the blood-soaked revenge of the Dishonoured Bride. The village of Cankle had always been silent after dusk. Narrow lanes, flickering lanterns, and moss-covered walls bore the weight of age-old secrets. But none was darker than what festered behind the towering gates of the Thockham mansion, the ancestral home of the Chatterjee family. It was there, 3 years ago, that Meera arrived as a glowing bride, draped in red silk and gold, her eyes brimming with dreams. The wedding to Roghav Chatterjee, the youngest son of the family, was arranged in haste. Roghav, aloof and cold, had been pressured by his parents for the union. But Meera believed love could be nurtured. She was wrong. From the moment the wedding ended, Meera became a shadow in the house. Taunted by her mother-in-law, Dugo Chatterjee, humiliated by her sister-in-law, Nandita, and ignored by her husband, Meera's days blurred into a cycle of tears and silence. They accused her of being barren, of bringing ill fortune. One rainy night, in the attic, Meera overheard them plotting, speaking of honor, of shame, and of how to cleanse the house. A week later, her body was found at the bottom of the village well. They said it was suicide. The police were paid off, the case closed, and the Chatterjee family moved on. But the villagers whispered that her soul was restless. That Meera had not left. That vengeance clung to her like her wedding veil. On the 3rd anniversary of her death, the rains returned. Heavy, cold, and unrelenting. And so did Meera. That night, Priest Haradan found blood smeared across the temple steps. Inside, the idol of goddess Kali had wept tears of crimson. People called it a sign. But the Chatterjees laughed it off. Until Nandita was found dead in her bathroom the next morning, drowned in a tub of vermilion. Her eyes were wide open, mouth frozen mid-scream. On the mirror, written in blood, were the words, Shuddhi Arambo Holo. The purification has begun. Terror gripped the family. Roghav's father, Byron Chatterjee, tried to consult a tantric, but his body was found hanging from the banyan tree near the graveyard the same night. His chest was slit open, heart missing. Meera's portrait in the hallway bled from the eyes. Roghav began seeing her in his dreams, drenched in her bridal attire, face pale and cracked, eyes hollow, the Mangal Sutra still gleaming around her throat. She didn't speak. She just pointed to the attic. Roghav, half mad with guilt and fear, went to the attic where he had once tied her hands and left her bleeding. He had not forgotten. And neither had Meera. That night, the lights in the mansion died. One by one, the screams began. Servants fled. Dugo, clutching her rosary, locked herself in her prayer room. She chanted feverishly, but the air thickened. Shadows moved. When the door creaked open, a gust of wind blew out every candle. In the dark stood Meera, soaked in red, her head tilted, her mouth smiling. Too wide, too broken. You called me barren, but I carried your son's shame, she whispered. Dugo's screams were never heard again. By dawn, only Roghav remained. He ran through the rain, shirt torn, feet bleeding, to the temple. He begged the priest to perform Shanti Kriya for Meera. But it was too late. The priest backed away, muttering, "You're already marked." As Roghav turned, he saw her face no longer human, eyes black as ink. She wrapped her arms around him, pressing her blood-stained lips to his ear. "You left me in the dark, Roghav. Now join me there." Lightning struck the peepal tree behind the temple. They found Roghav's body hanging by a red wedding veil, his neck twisted, eyes wide with eternal horror. The Thockham mansion now stands abandoned. Vines creep up its decaying walls. No one enters after dusk. But sometimes, people hear anklets in the corridors. They see flickers of red silk in the corner of their eye. On stormy nights, Meera's lullaby drifts through the rain. soft, mournful, and soaked in vengeance. And if you listen closely, you'll hear her whisper, "No honor survives Dishna.